Uh-oh, I'm making a video with the computer in the foreground, which means I made a gaffe during recording. That gaffe was that I kept saying game 8, and this is actually game 9. So pretend every time I say 8, I actually said 9. I'm really stupid.
Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 8 of the regular season, where the Rangers win 6-3 over the Dallas Stars. Parade's back on, nerds! Okay, jokes aside, this was a game, and more specifically a third period, that the Rangers desperately needed after the start they've had to the season. That has been rocky, and that's putting it in a nice way. But I specify third period because, oh boy, this game did not get off to a wonderful start because Mason Marchment, on the first shot of the game for the Dallas Stars, scores. High slot. It's a really nice shot from Marchment. You'd like Shesterkin to get a save there. Miller was in the way, but not in a screening the shot way, in a playing defense way. You'd love for Shesty to have a save there. He doesn't, and it's 1-0 Stars. And if you would have told me that the Rangers would then, after allowing a goal on the first shot, go on to win 6-3, I would have 100% believed you because Ragner's hockey, baby, catch the fever. A little bit later in the first period, though, Rangers in the offensive zone, holding it in there pretty well, and Chris Kreider, being a net front nuisance, shot on net from Kakko, he bangs it home, and the Rangers tie it at 1 apiece. Now we get to talk about this early in the game, because at the end of the first period, not much time left, Dallas takes a tripping penalty. Oh, which Ranger did they trip, we all said. And then we see this scrum breaking out in the Dallas end, and we're like, that's really strange. Did they trip, like, a big player, like one of the A's or, Trouba or captain or someone? And then it pans back to our goal, and Igor Shesterkin is on the ground looking like he's been shot. And all of Rangers fandom at the same time has the heart-stopping realization that, it was Igor that got tripped. And Ty Dellandrea, oh boy, that was just an awful, awful play. That was, I want to say dirty. I mean, he so easily could have not done that. As a skater, you've got to be more aware than that. That isn't cutting it. That was just a dirty play, in my opinion. And the Rangers would retaliate in the waning seconds of this game with another dirty play, and I don't necessarily endorse that. But that's a dirty play, and that leads me into this thing, which is the Rangers have a lot of players who can fight. They have a lot of tough players. Trouba is a tough player. Lindgren is a tough player. Barclay Goodrow is a tough player. The list goes on. We have quite a few of those. But man, oh man, you can't deny that teams play the Rangers really differently when Ryan Reeves isn't in the lineup. And I don't like furthering the narrative that you still need goons and fighters in the National Hockey League in the year 2022. I don't love that. But you kind of got to face the reality of the situation here, which is whenever the Rangers don't have Ryan Reeves, a.k.a. the two pairs of fists with like 500 PSI behind each one of them, teams take our lunch money and kick us up and down the ice. When Reeves is there, they kind of don't. When Reeves is there, other players also kind of chip in with that. And people talk about Reeves, they're like, well, yeah, but you can't just put him in every game. You got to put other people. I'm sorry, you're putting Reeves on the fourth line. If your fourth line, if you're depending on a fourth line to score goals consistently, you either have the deepest team in hockey history or you're a bad team. I'm sorry, Carpenter over Reeves? I understand that Reeves is not a playmaker, a goal scorer. He has virtually no offensive value. I understand that. But seeing the way we get kind of beat up on, and you have to make a good argument of putting Carpenter or VC over him, I'm sorry, but no. You kind of still need the bodyguard or the babysitter if you want to go in that direction. Igor was okay, which is a good thing, but, be nice if that just didn't happen. So the Rangers have a power play that ends this first period and carries into the second period, and holy crap, Vinny Trocheck with one of the nastiest snipes I have ever seen. Top corner. Thing of beauty. Vinny Trocheck has been very solid already for the Rangers. He has slotted into the power play perfectly. He would have a couple of goals today. He'd have a 3-point day. Fantastic from Trocheck. So then we go to the tying goal for the Stars, which was very soon after, about 30 seconds later. And Trouba got yelled at for 2 goals today, and I am only going to yell at him for 1. This is the problem on this play. Trouba was all over Heinz, and he somehow allowed him to put this in. And I don't... Man, it was painful to watch. Watching the replay a dozen times over, I just sit there in awe of how he didn't prevent this. This was a bad defensive play for Trouba to allow the goal. I'm not necessarily upset with Igor on this one. The other goal we'll talk about in a minute, that is much more on Igor and not so much on Trouba in my opinion, but this one was a bad play defensively for Jacob Trouba. So much later in the period, Rangers on another power play. Artemi Panarin, beautiful tape-to-tape pass to Mika Zibanejad. Panarin's playmaking is just truly amazing. This was a gorgeous pass with a beautiful tip in from Mika, and the Rangers take a 3-2 lead that they would cough up nearly immediately. Draw in our defensive zone. A lot of people going for it. Jason Robertson takes it and puts it in. People are mad at Jacob Trouba on this play for not being able to clear it or not being able to stop him. My issue with this is not on Trouba. Igor, that is the easiest 5-hole save of your career, and you let it trickle through like that. It was bad. It was a very bad goal to allow for Igor Shesterkin, and yeah, maybe Trouba should have been able to clear it. You got to save that. That is begging to just be a rebound. I don't even know that Robertson was shooting for a goal. I think he was shooting for a rebound, if I'm being honest. But it trickles in, and it's a tie game again. And from that point, I'm kind of losing my mind because the Rangers are playing all right, but these awful, awful gaffes just keep haunting us. And the Rangers now, 8th game of the year, they kind of got to start showing stuff, and they just very, very didn't. Until the third period. And for a moment, we kind of all lost our minds because Jason Robertson had the puck again on a terrible defensive turnover and scored 5-hole again on an awful goal to allow from Shesterkin that just trickled through. Thankfully, the Stars were like a mile off sides on that goal and it got called back. But, you know, you'd like for that to be cleaned up. But the Rangers run rampant in the third period. Zach Jones, his first career NHL goal, a lovely pass from Trocheck. Jones was in the high slot, snipes it, and the Rangers have a 4-3 lead. Then seconds after that, Blais plays it up for Gauthier. He takes it in, and Scott Wedgwood comes a mile out of the net to try to play it. And Gauthier, who has forever been this player that, like, man, he gets his chances, and he plays hard, and he looks solid, but he can never finish on anything. He finished on this one. He fought like hell for this goal. And Scott Wedgwood was way out, and it was a pretty empty net. But from a very tough angle, puts it in, and the Rangers have a 5-3 lead. And late in the third period, to ice the game completely, Mika Zibanejad, gorgeous pass, Vinny Trocheck snipes it again. Vinny Trocheck, great offseason acquisition by the Rangers, and it is a 6-3 lead. That would be the final. And then later on, you know, shenanigans after plays, Marchment kind of got rough with Trouba, and then Gaudreau just cross-checking the hell out of Delandra. I don't endorse it, but I understand why it happened because that's your franchise goaltender and you can't be doing stuff like that. All right. Rangers in the first while of this game looked very sketchy. An amazing third period where I thought about every line and every defensive pair looked pretty solid, aside from the Fox and Lindgren defensive breakdown that almost led to the Robertson goal if they weren't, you know, miles offside. The defensive pairs, again, later on in this game got a lot better. Miller and Trouba were solid throughout. Trouba had a couple of gaffes. But, again, the second one, I'm still not too upset with that one. The Jones-Schneider pair should just be the pair. I don't want to see Hayek in this roster again unless there is an injury. And I don't care that sounds mean. It's the truth. Kreider, who has been somewhat invisible, had a great game today. The entire first line looked really good. Mika had a goal and a pair of assists. Kreider had the multi-points with the goal and an assist. Kakko, I believe, had a point. He did have an assist, but he looked good the entire way through. Nice play. I want to say it was on the power play to keep the puck in. It was a very nice play by him. This first line looked great. The second line also looked good. Trocheck was amazing. Panarin looked solid again. Lafreniere had a few nice plays, a few nice long fights to keep it in the zone. He's got to start scoring some more. He's got to do that. This is his third year. We can't just keep giving him time because he is a first overall pick, but he's definitely showing the signs that he's about to break out. But you got to break out this season. You can't go into your fourth year as a player who's like, oh, wait till they become good. No. You got to start doing that now. And then Shesterkin was very strange because 30 for 33 sounds like a great stat line, and it is a very nice line. My thing was, he stopped the really hard shots, like beautiful saves for Shesterkin, some great saves in this game, and then also just allowed a couple of muffins. So I'm going to say he played good, but, you know, the muffins scare me. So the Rangers get absolutely no time because tomorrow at 8 o'clock we head to Arizona to play the Coyotes in their stadium. And after this game where the Rangers look confident, yeah, you need to put up like 15 goals in that game. And I'm barely making a joke. Looking at the goaltending tandem for the Coyotes is genuinely horrifying. Vejmelka, who is their starter, has a 4.41 goal against and an 8.84 save. And Ingram, who might play tomorrow, who's to say yet, has a 4.02 and an 8.71. I'm not joking when I say you need to put up like 7 goals. So that's tomorrow. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. I'll be here later on with a stream and a video for the Astros. And I'll also be here tomorrow with the Jets video. I got a lot of stuff to make in the next few days. Anyway, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.